Hello everyone, welcome back to Anmoll Astrology channel. Now this video is about Venus in the sign of Scorpio, its meaning and its transit, right? So Venus is transiting in the sign of Scorpio on 13th of October and it is going to stay there till 7th of November. Before that, let's understand what does Venus in the sign of Scorpio means. First of all, this is a placement of an individual who hands on are the most attractive and most, you know, people who just attract everyone, who can just heal everyone. These people have such a solid and powerful vibrations. So, what does Venus means? Venus is the planet of union. It naturally actually rules the second and the seventh house. So, it represents one's income, one's family, wealth, possession, traditions, your priorities, your lifestyle. Where would you like to spend your money? What do you want to accumulate or collect or possess? It also represents what do you like to eat, since second house is about your communication, your speech. How do you interact with people? How do you communicate with people? Not like Mercury, but how the your voice is, how your tone of voice is, right? Another thing it represents is your unions, legal contracts, your image in public, not like your personality, how it is, shown outwardly, but Venus does represents one's aura. It represents one's relationships. It represents your spouse, your relationships, your encounters, right? So now the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is naturally the eighth house and it is ruled by the planet Mars. Now you would understand this way that Scorpio is a sign which has the most intensity. It's an intense sign. It is a sign which is deep down. Scorpio indeed is also a sign. You'll always see people who have prominent Scorpio placements. They love to show off. How they are secretive, because they won't let you what's going around in their mind, or sometimes due to some placements in their life as well. Because Scorpio is secrecy. Scorpio is that you keep things hidden. You just give people the kind of projection that you want them to have, not what is reality. So now let's understand what does Venus in the sign of Scorpio means. First of all, let's discuss it from the point of view of the second house. First of all, it shows that there is a traumatic experience that is associated with your family. You fear relationships. It's not that you fear relationships as if you don't want to have it. No, you have certain amount of fears in yourself which are, in as a part of relationship. If you suppose, for example, if you want to get into a relationship, you'll be fearful of getting hurt. You'll be fearful of getting betrayed. You always want to make sure that if you are in a position, you are in love with someone, those people are yours, just yours. And this also shows that you would want to possess the other person. You're very possessive, very sensitive individual. You're very sensitive, although, your trauma actually comes from the family and from the relationships. But still, you are the person who is too sensitive for your family and for your spouse. Marriage and family is something that plays the utmost important role in your life. You get affected deeply because of these two areas. And also, you are fearful of losing money. You are fearful or of ever being deprived of money. Or one thing I have seen very prominently with Venus in the sign of Scorpio, most of all, these people are also fearful of anyone that they love. They don't want them to be deprived of money. And that's why these people are legacy creators. When it is about money, these people are the ones who are going to actually have secret assets or secret, they have money or assets in a secretive form. They would want to talk about it, but somehow they always actually juggle between keeping secrets and announcing what they have or what they feel in life. So, there you need to understand this thing, that Scorpio people are not born secretive. They change because of circumstances. And when Venus is in the sign of Scorpio, they are not born secretive in relationships. They are not born secretive regarding their wealth and their possessions. They are actually forced to be secretive because of their circumstances and their surroundings. There is definitely a heavy karma associated with all of these factors. Why do we always call Scorpio to be a karmic sign? That means, sorry, that means there has been things that are carried forward in this life for you. Indeed, you would see that a person with Venus in the sign of Scorpio will actually not ever be deprived of money completely. Whenever they want money, they are going to have it, hook or crook. Right? But the fact is that they would always find it difficult to enjoy it to the fullest. Why? Because these people are also considerate of the ones in their surroundings. They would keep on complaining about things which are happening in the surroundings, but still they are going to be that sensitive souls who are going to help everyone they love when the moment comes. Another thing, since this is the sign of Mars, these people are extremely passionate. Extremely passionate. So you would see that these are the individuals whose communication or what they say, how they express their feelings, how they express their, their communication, that is going to leave a heavy mark on you. That's the charmness of the sign of Scorpio. And Venus, when comes into the sign of Scorpio, this is a woman or this is a man you will never forget in life. If you have ever been in relationship with a person with Venus in Scorpio, you would know that. It's very hard to forget such people because they give you that intensity. They give you that closeness in life. Now, if we talk about totally about the relationship aspects, these people do not have the best of the relationships, right? Because relationships does involve, them dealing with their inner conflict and their inner trauma. These people only do well with the partners who themselves have Venus in the sign, in the water signs or in moksha houses. Another thing what it does is these people are research oriented. This relationship part of their life is actually going to make them dive deeper into research. And by researching a lot in their life, they are going to become what? Astrologers, researchers, healers. They have excellent healing abilities. And also with the sign of Scorpio, there is something involved. That is transformation. With every relationship, these people are going to transform. And another thing, what they experience is their relationships are going to start passionately. But they definitely have transformation within their relationship. They would never have a straight graph within their relationship. When their relationship starts, it's like the graph which is going totally upwards. The intensity, the passion is great, but then it will start going fluctuating. It will start going up and down. And that's when they start getting sensitive, they start getting emotionally inclined. And that basically hurts them and they go into that depressive zone. That's the karma this Venus has in your life. Now, another thing that this does is it will dive you into healing. A person with Venus in the sign of Scorpio, these people have the ability to heal others. They heal others with their communication, by listening to them. They can be excellent therapists, excellent healers, Reiki healers, or any sort of healers. Even you would see such people to be surgeons, to be into doctor profession, because these people are full of knowledge. They dig deep so as to find knowledge. And you know what? These people are excellent detectives. These people are going to be the ones who are going to, you know what, they don't tell or they don't let the other person know, but they are always going to keep their eyes on you. They would always just show that, oh, you were here, I didn't know about it. But these are the people who have researched it all, who know your whereabouts all the time. They are going to know about where their spouse is going, what they do, etc., etc. And their spouse might not even know it, that they know. And this also happens in relationships with them. So these people are secretive about these things. They don't let other person to know about their what is their next step. Right? I won't call them to be strategic, but I would call them that they actually like to, you know, portray an image of theirs in front of other people. And it's a very dark and deep individual behind that mask. I'm not saying it negatively, but it's like they do so as to just fulfill, or so as to just fulfill themselves emotionally, and so as to understand their trauma, so that that trauma is not projected out in relationships. So that's why Venus in the sign of Scorpio, this is actually a beautiful, beautiful placement to have for one's spirituality. It does well with one's finances and income as well. It'll give you fluctuations within your finances, but it has the ability to make you multimillionaire. And also the person who wants to help everyone in their surroundings, they would, they would always want to have the highest of the luxury. Not like highest as in straight away, you want to buy a Range Rover. No, but whatsoever you can afford, you're going to get the best. Whatever you're going to apply on your body, like cosmetics, or you are going to wear clothes, they would always choose finer things. They are willing to settle for less, but quality matters for them. Right? And they are naturally and always inclined and associated with astrology with one way or the other. But the only area where it gives you that traumatic effect, that is the relationship with the family and also the relationship with the spouse. That's the trauma that you gather. And over a period of time, you're going to work towards it. Why? Because this fear of yours, this fear of losing people, the fear of getting betrayed, the fear of losing money or being at a position to not help others is going to actually motivate you to do better, to always do better and accumulate wealth. So that's the psychology of Venus in the sign of Scorpio. Right? So let's quickly dive into the Muhurata chart. Right? Let me share the screen. Okay. So the Muhurata chart is the sign of Virgo. And also we are going to do the predictions for the sign of Virgo. We are going to start with the sign of Virgo. Okay. Just a second. Now, for this Muhurata chart, Venus is transiting in the third house. So there are some things we need to consider. First, the Venus in the third house, Saturn's 10th aspect with retrogression on the third house on Venus, then Jupiter's 7th aspect with retrogression on Venus, right? So these are the things which are going to play an important role in the analysis. Right. So when Venus comes into the third house, and that too in a transformative sign, remember this talks about major transformation in one's life. So that means that this transit is going to bring in immense transformation for an individual, and especially for the people who are going through Venus Mahadasha, right? Why immense transformation? Third house is Bhavat Bhavam of the eighth house, a very transformative one. That means double of the transformation. Along with that, we have Scorpio, right? So the conclusion of this thing would be that this Venus transit in the sign of Scorpio is going to bring in major transformation in one's efforts, since it is the third house, right? Your way of acting, your way of communicating, your way of speech is going to transform big time during this Venus transit in the sign of Scorpio. And this is going to be there because you are going to learn from your past in this life and the past life as well. You will be bound to pay off karma during the month of October, because of which you're going to learn and improve your actions. This process can be with struggle and with traumatic experience. It is going to be emotionally intense, but definitely there is higher learning. There is learning towards one's courage, one's efforts, and one's karma, right? Because this Venus being aspected by Jupiter retrograde and Saturn retrograde is not an easy thing. That means that transformation is going to come ahead, but this is going to be either because of something which is getting uprooted, which is getting transformative. Right? So for Virgo individuals, already this time is actually the most transformative one. This can be a period where you might be experiencing one day good, another day depressed, and there might be a lot of thinking that might be going on within your mind, within your subconscious mind, which is actually aligning you towards spirituality. Along with this, within your relationships, you are going to experience transformation. Your efforts are going to transform. And this transformation is also major because Mars, the lord of the sign of Scorpio, goes eighth from this Venus. Right? So that's why the focus of this Venus is transformation and healing. Whenever Venus comes into the sign of Scorpio, it's not just about traumatic experiences or learning something out of it or transforming out of it. It is also to heal oneself. And by healing yourself, you are going to develop the ability to heal others. So this is actually a transformation for Virgo individuals, which is going to beautifully play out, but the process is going to be something you are going to, remember. Okay. So this also means that for this period, you would want to, have communications of unionships. You want to communicate what you have on the inside. You would want to communicate about your creativity, about what you are thinking, about spirituality in a very deeper way. You would want to research on your end, research on healing, research on creativity, on expression. Okay, so now the next ones are the sign of Libra. So for Libra ascendants and Libra moon, Venus is getting in the second house and in the sign of Scorpio. Your relationship with your family is going to transform. Your finances are going to transform. Now, I won't say that this particular thing is going to happen for good or for bad. It's actually a mix of both. You're going to suppress your expenses. You would want to suppress your expenses, but somehow you will be and you will end up, buying things which are either of luxury. Maybe you are investing your money somewhere, right? So it's going to be a major shift within your finances and within your income. You would feel the urge to somehow, you would feel, because of your circumstances, you would feel the urge to represent your finances in a different way, as in a more boastful way. You are actually, Mercury also being in the first house in the sign of Libra, you are going to be more boastful in this October period. But, be very careful of investing your money into shares and speculation during this month. And also, since, it's India and it's Diwali, most of the people would be gambling as well. So be careful of gambling. Be careful of where you are getting money, because you may gain, but you may also lose a subtle amount of money. Right? Along with this, Venus in the second house is not the best for relationships. So definitely a major transformation in regards to your relationships as well. Be relationship with your parents, with your family, and be relationship with your girlfriend, a boyfriend, or your spouse. Right? So your focus is actually going to be more towards materialistic things for this time period, for October. That's why your partner could feel isolated, your partner could feel away from you. Right? But this particular transition of yours is going to teach you. This particular transition in your finances and in your relationships are going to teach you big time and for longer period. Right? Now, next one is the sign of Scorpio. Now, this is happening in your ascendant. That means this is happening within your mind. You are going to feel the intensity of Venus. You're going to feel it. You would want to, suppress your emotions, but at the same time, get all of them out. So for this month, you can actually feel over the top. You can feel overwhelmed. But this particular, axis, which I'm getting with Venus in the first house and Jupiter in the seventh house, some sort of disagreement with the partner. Either it's a business partner, or it's a love relationship, or it's your marriage. Some sort of disagreement with the partner is going to create a transformation for you. For this period, you would also want to do something for yourself. You would want to, suppress your emotions for some reason. Right? And you'll have to actually work really, really hard towards your emotions, because we also have third house moon along with that. For that, although howsoever expressive you have been into your relationship, howsoever things you are doing within your relationship, but somehow you will feel, wounded very deeply during this month, because of which this transformation is going to happen. If we talk about finances, somehow I feel that you would have to, make some expenditure towards your spouse or towards someone else. But you are going to be very calculative about it as well. Okay. Next, the sign of Sagittarius. For Sagittarius individuals, it's like Venus is actually in the 12th house. So it will intensely involve you with your spirituality, with your healing, and your subconscious mind is going to be highly activated. So it is also going to activate your intuition. For this time, you may feel loss in love. But for this time, you're going to, just you're going to save money, you're going to spend money, save money, spend money. So this is the loop you'll be experiencing. Because second house moon, 12th house Venus, this is more so a very enjoyable period for you. But it's like, covering your emotions by pampering yourself, suppressing your emotions or protecting your emotions by doing something yourself materialistically, making yourself happy materialistically. That is the kind of transit I see for you people. But again, it's a win-win situation. I do see that there could be opportunities from overseas that you might have, which are good in terms of money. But emotionally, you will be very connected with your subconscious mind, and you're going to actually transform your belief system, the way you think subconsciously, the way you connect with your thinking or overthinking mind. Right? So this particular transformation is actually going to happen because of either a dispute or a fight with the other person, with the partner. Okay. Now, next will be the sign of Capricorn. So for Capricorn individuals, this is happening in the 11th house, Venus in Scorpio. So transformation within your social circle, transformation towards what your desires are. So this in a way means that you might have desired something in your life which was not best of your interest, but somehow this Saturn and Jupiter have given you an experience of that desire. And then you're going to realize that what I was desiring, that was not something which was actually meant for me. So you will trust God's plan for you. That is what this Venus is going to do here. That's why there's going to be a transformation related to your social circle. There could be some disagreement with the elder sibling or some disagreement with your social circle, because of which this particular transformation will happen. And this transformation may also take place because of money matters or because of competitiveness, competitive behavior, or maybe because of an enemy, which was actually within your friend circle. Right? So this is a time for you to be very cautious, especially with your interactions with females. You may also interact with social circle, or suddenly you will see your social circle or your friend circle will start behaving very deceptive, very dual. You would gain, definitely, but you would gain after an obstacle. You would gain after something abrupt and transformative happening to you. Right? Now, next for the sign of Aquarius. So for Aquarius individuals, this is happening in the 10th house. This Venus in the 10th house. Right? So Venus coming into the 10th house in the sign of Scorpio will give you major transformation either with your image out in public or with your career. Now, this transformation is going to be initiated because of some sort of dissatisfaction that you will have with yourself and with your surroundings, because you also have Saturn in the ascendant, and your Sadhisati is also, in a way, your Sadhisati is also going on. Now, if you reckon here that why my Sadhisati, I usually also consider the transit of Saturn from the ascendant as Sadhisati as well. That is more so called as Dhaya, right? But it does affect in a very similar manner to Sadhisati. That's why I call it Sadhisati. At the same time, there's Rahu in the second. So that's why, first of all, be careful of your image. Your image can be, targeted by a female at a workspace who is authoritative, right? And this could also be because you might have a romantic encounter. If you are a male, you might have a romantic encounter with that particular female, and you will end up getting your image tarnished because of that female for some reason. right? But this is actually your teaching that you're going to get, that you should not go to some places or some ways which are not meant for you, right? And for this time, you will actually also feel quite isolated. Also, in terms of career, it means that you would have to research on something. You would have to research on not just creative subject, but any technical subject as well. But it's more of educational in nature, educational and research oriented. And that you'll have to use in your career, and that is going to be in a very creative manner. And this also shows that there are chances that in this month of October, you might feel inclined towards any of your interests, hobbies, or passion. And you would want to follow that, because of which there is going to be transformation within your career. Okay. Now, the sign of Pisces. So, for Pisces individuals, this transit is happening in the ninth house, right? So, this talks about, first of all, there could be some disagreement or lack of similar opinion with the father, right? I do see that you are in a zone right now where you are being very much visionary, very technical within your mind, right? You want to explore something which is way beyond this, way beyond normality, because you have Rahu in the first house and then Moon 11th from it in Dhanishta Nakshatra at this point of time. So that means that you are working towards a vision. Maybe your father does not agree with that. And this vision can be about a career choice. It could be about marriage choice. It could be about anything. But you're thinking something towards the future. And their father can disagree with whatever you say. And mother can be way dual or controlling with the subject. So during this time, you are going to actually learn some lessons. This is the most learning time period for you this month. And this month is going to lead you towards spirituality as well. And you would try to isolate yourself also. You will be involved in society, in social circle, but it's like more of because you have to be there, or you have some agenda there, but internally or subconsciously, that is not your comfort zone right now. It's just that circumstances are forcing you to be there right now, right? So this is a very transformative period for you. This time period can also initiate a travel for you. Okay, that travel could be a permanent shift as well. Okay. Now, next would be the sign of Aries. So for Aries individuals, this transit is happening in the 8th house. This again, just like Virgo ascendants, this is going to be very, very transformative time. Why? Because Venus is in the 8th house. The Lord of Scorpio, Mars, is in the 3rd house. Both the houses of major transformation. That means they, first of all, I definitely see a relationship, and which is going to be more, more sexual in nature, and also more inclined towards attachment and addiction, right? So I think that particular relationship is not going to be the best for you, but it is going to be there. Maybe you are married, maybe the person is not right, you know it, but still you are so inclined towards them. So this time actually tells that this transformation is going to be there because you internally know this is wrong, but you're still following that. This also materialistically, this shows that there can be opportunities within your work which can resurface, which can come in suddenly, very unexpectedly. And you would require to do some research work for that. And this particular opportunity can actually give you immense, credit or immense benefit, gains. This could be one opportunity in the lifetime. It is not necessary that this would come around in the month of October, but it could come around, it's starting from October, down the lane for 2-3 months, right? But for relationships, this is for relationships as in for your marriage, if you are married or if you are in a relationship, for that particular relationships, this is a very, very transformative experience. Something is going to make you or make your relationship get affected in a very different manner, very transformative, right? But definitely, materialistically, it is a period which is way more important for you. It could even initiate your legacy at this point, right? Next would be the sign of Taurus. So for Taurus individuals, this is happening in the 7th house. Very transformative. Lack of similar opinion or disagreement with the partner. You would not want to adjust this time. You would not feel that adjustment. You might, previously I told you guys that Venus in Scorpio, you might show something else, but internally you might be dealing with lots of things. That is what is going to be there. You might show that, okay, I'm okay with the situation, but internally you're planning for something else. You're maybe that much hurt that you just don't want to adjust anymore. So this is indeed a very transformative experience with partnerships, with love. At the same time, you have Ketu in the 5th house. There are many things that have actually controlled your mind, which has gotten into your mind. There's also going to be some expense that you might have to take on towards the family, towards so as to provide them. But for relationships this time, I wouldn't say this is the best of the time, but this Jupiter in your ascendant somehow will help you to still stay intact during this time. Definitely are going to be criticized a lot, and because of which you will change the way you interact with other people or the way you react towards your partner, towards your spouse. Okay? So, and this thing is actually going to lead you towards spirituality, right? Now, next will be Gemini. For Gemini individuals, this is happening in the 6th house. This is something you have to be careful of. Venus in the 6th house and not in the best of the signs, this can actually lead you towards disputes, especially with females. At your workspace, there can be someone who has been, adding to your overthinking since a long time. Now, how you react towards that or how you fight back this enemy, that is going to be the one thing that is going to transform. You are going to put your foot down now. You would want to deal with this situation in a very, very competitive manner. But again, this person can try to harm you in a very manipulative way, diplomatic way, and a very dramatic way as well. So definitely be very careful of your colleagues, or if there is already someone who is bothering you within your workspace. This also means that there could be some expenditure towards your health. It would be, either there's some concerning thing or alarming thing related to your health, or just you just want your health to be in shape. That's why. Right? So that's what there can be. But at this time, you would actually become very practical with your emotions because of this experience. And somehow you would require to suppress your emotions, and that would not feel the best for you. Now the sign of Cancer. So for Cancer individuals, this is happening in the 5th house. There can be some major transformative experience with your love matters. And also, 5th house is of one's intelligence. Since Venus is coming in your 5th house, I would call it as to be very lovey-dovey towards your relationships. No, there's some trauma that you're going to have with your relationships, and for this time you're going to feel very soft, and you might take decisions which might, turn out to be not the best for you. So be very careful with what you are deciding, how you are doing things. Your decisions, your intelligence is going to be tested. And the transformation of getting lessons is going to be because of you using your intelligence in a certain way, which is more so telling me that you might use your emotions, you might take an emotional decision rather than practical one. At the same time, you have moon in the 7th in Dhanishta, not the best for relationships. So be aware of your encounters with other people. Along with that, this Venus in the 5th house will actually make you creative, research oriented, and this can even give you fame at this point, because you will be able to express yourself in such a beautiful and attractive manner that everyone is going to just be inclined towards you, towards your creative self-expression. Okay? Now, next is the sign of Leo. So for Leo individuals, this is happening in the 4th house, right? So again, 4th house is your internal space. It is your heart. It's your private space, your bedroom, wherever you feel comfortable, wherever you feel happy. So this 4th house Venus is actually going to make you be happy, but in a very emotional way. You'll be happy, but at the same time, you will be overwhelmed as well. There's some sort of major transformation either related to mother. There's because of some trauma that you have accumulated because of the family or especially because of the mother. Now you are going to address that. Now you're going to learn from that. This will be transformative, but after this transformation, you would gracefully get out of it and you will gracefully work towards your gains. Right? For this time, you may have some lack of similar opinion with the authorities. And because of that, you will feel very helpless. But this feeling is actually going to motivate you to grab opportunities, other opportunities, so as to feel better materialistically. So this time is actually going to, it's like a wake-up call for you in terms of your emotions, which is also going to lead towards materialistic benefits. And at the same time, you may have a very competitive spirit towards your friend circle. And there's huge lesson towards how you interact or how you connect emotionally with other people. Okay? So guys, this was my analysis about Venus in Scorpio and also the transit of Venus in Scorpio. I hope this is helpful. If you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. If you guys would like to have your personal readings, you can check out the link below, www.anmollastrology.com. And under the reading section, you can book a personal reading for yourself. And under the unique reading section, you can book a unique reading for yourself. See you next time. Bye-bye. Take care.